Hey guys, this is Mr. Kramer,
Mrs. Kramer.
and we're here just to kind of go through your Monday, March 30th reading packet section all the way through Friday, April 10th. So we do also encourage you, and we would really love for you to be reading at least 20 minutes a day aside from this instruction, and also too would love to see you on Epic and getting those hours in there too.
On Mrs. Kramer's class. All right, you'll notice that day 1 through 10 has a passage for you. In each passage, it tells you to chunk and paragraph shrink as you're reading before you do the comprehension questions. And then after that, it's an A-B pattern of doing a choice board, which is typically writing, or word work, which is mostly like grammar. So each day, you'll read for 20 minutes, you'll read the passage, chunk, paragraph, shrink, do the questions, and then some type of writing and grammar activity. We are here to explain what chunk and paragraph shrinking means. All right, this story is called Out of the Night Sky, and like we mentioned, you might want to split your page so that you can just kind of chunk. So you've got your first chunk and your second chunk. So I'll go ahead and read it. Miles and his dad were camping in the mountains. It was a warm, clear night. They lay outside, gazing up at the Milky Way's sea of stars. Miles was watching a round satellite with bright green lights when suddenly it changed direction. It seemed to be leaving the sky and heading right toward them. "Would you look at that?" his dad said. "I'm looking," said Miles. So then I would go back at each paragraph. So the main idea of that would be Miles and his dad are outside. Then I look at this one. The main idea of this paragraph would be that they saw something in the sky. And then I kind of put these two together and say they both talked about looking at it.
As they watched the satellite sink behind the nearest ridge, without another word, both of them left their sleeping bags and climbed the ridge. When they reached the top, they looked down the other side. They saw a spaceship, its green lights still glowing. Soon a hatch opened. Two aliens emerged. "What on earth?" breathed Miles' dad. "On Earth, maybe," thought Miles, "but not of Earth." "What should we do?" Miles whispered. So in these two, like there's a clear paragraph here and then some text where there's some dialogue going on. So I could kind of just chunk all that into a paragraph and say, well, an event just happened where the spaceship just came down and something is coming out.
And then there's one more page, and you just do the same thing. I would just chunk it here, maybe split it in half right about there. I'd read these 3 paragraphs and go back and summarize them. And then you'd read these paragraphs and go back and summarize, and that's about it.
And the purpose of this is just to kind of keep your brain alert and saying like, oh man, sometimes I just drift off and I can still read something, but I'm not really thinking about it anymore. This kind of just helps your brain remember like, oh, I need to pick out a detail or two or a main idea from each, just so we kind of know what's happening in the story so far. So, with all of this being away from school stuff, we do want to still check in with you guys and how you're doing with the work that you're choosing to do, and we're hoping you're choosing to do it. Um, so, we just want to check in with you every now and then. So, on every Thursday, which will be the fourth and the ninth day for this reading packet, we're going to check in and have you guys send us a picture, and Mrs. Kramer is going to tell you more about how to do that.
So like you said, day 4's activity will be on April 2nd. So after you read Digging Up Old Bones in Jamestown and completing the word work, day 2 or number 2 of that, just have your parents take a picture of whatever paper you wrote your answers on and send that in to us, and we'll check it and write what would have been your grade on there. Of course, it's not really being graded; it's just for feedback purposes. If you send that in by 8 p.m. on Thursday, April 2nd, then Mr. Kramer and I will get it in. We'll be working Thursday night, later in the night, checking those, and we'll send them back no later than Friday noontime.
All right. So then on the second week of this, that would end up being day 9 when we check in with you again on a Thursday. And that would be April 9th. All right. So we'll do the same thing April 9th before 8 p.m. or before that. And then we'll check that and get it back to you on Friday, April 10th.
Okay.
All right, and that's all we have for this 2-week packet for reading. Guys, keep enjoying the beautiful weather. Please keep reading and learning and discovering new things.
All right. See you later, darlings.
Work hard, play hard, TES fam.